Welcome back to lesson number 4. Today we're going to practice drawing hands. If you can draw hands, you can draw anything. So we're going to be building off of the previous lessons. We're going to be building off of the vertical horizontal lines, the idea of the egg and how you can build form through a mark, and also the idea of language and how things can actually be a vessel for expression. So what I want us to do is to start with, we'll look at this. This we know symbolically is a hand. We go to the cave paintings, we understand what it is, but it is open. It does not have any kind of gesture. It does not have any kind of form, except in our head if we think about what it is. So I want us to be able to draw something that feels like an actual three-dimensional form that has weight. So what we start to do is we're going to look at the hand the same way we looked at the egg. We're still just dealing with line. Later we'll get into other ways of building form with light, dark, shadow, things like that. But now, trust your eye more than you trust your head about what a hand looks like. So if I was to follow my eye around, if I started here, I come up, my eye jumps across into the crease of my wrist. It goes up here, it cuts across here. It comes in, it goes out. It certainly, I go into my wrist and then my eye goes back and I see this. So let's look at it and try to draw it that way. So again, one line, don't worry about proportion, just try to start to feel that your hand is the same as your eye. I go in there, it's down, I start again, I see that, then maybe I come back up, I see this finger. I see another finger. I come up, I cut across. Okay, I'm down, I'm there, then I see my wrist. Okay, so let's quickly look at what's the difference between here and here. This, where this line actually goes up and then comes back, we start to understand the space. This is up and this is back. As opposed to here, if I was to actually do that, all of a sudden, now the hand is starting to move out. Particularly also if the weight of this is heavier, say, than this. Also right here, where my finger actually came up, so I lifted my tool, that allows this breath to move in here and pushes this back. That's also the beginning of composition, something we'll get into later. But so how can you then say, well, it's all wacky in proportion? So you could easily just, if you do this, and then you take that and you could see what is the relationships of, say, that finger to this, and then go this way. And you could see that from here to here is the same as from here to here. So you could start to make measurements. The other thing to do is thinking about your vertical and horizontal lines is, if this was on a grid, look how far in the pinky is, right? Look where the thumb actually is. Look how much space that is compared to, say, there. So start to do those when you're drawing them on the paper. Now, the other thing to think about is, in the earliest works of art, the ability to have expression was in the hand because the paint would dry so quickly, it couldn't be in the visceral way of the making, but the idea of gesture. Gesture is so important, I think particularly right now. I'm not sure where you are, but where I am, everyone has masks. What you see is maybe a wave, you see a gesture. So think of the difference between this and the difference of this, maybe touching a flower. So think about like what you can do with your hand and then let it stop and then try to draw and get it in all kinds of ways. And all of a sudden you're going to be seeing things that you never thought you might be able to do. So also think about, so important, the weight of your mark. If I want to go heavy, right, if I had this heavy, but then I was like reaching out for a flower, what the difference in that kind of gesture could be in the weight. So remember, your tool is an extension of your entire arm and your eye and your head and your brain and your heart. Okay, so make a lot of hands. We're going to build on this in the next class. I'll see you in a few days. Stay safe. Thank you.